NBC News has acquired photos of a test of a possible steel barrier that could theoretically be deployed at the border, and it shows how easily that barrier was actually defeated in the end. Let's take a look at this photo, and you're gonna see the steel barriers, the sorts of bars, the see-through wall that you hear about, all of that. Apparently someone took a hacksaw and cut through it. Because while it turns out metal is strong, it's not adamantium. So you can actually get through it, and it did not require any sort of specialized, complicated equipment or anything like that. This is stuff that could be taken by one person and transported. It's not particularly expensive. Now this photo was leaked to NBC, one of many that were initially redacted from a US Customs and Border Protection report, first obtained by San Diego Public Radio, KPBS, following a Freedom of Information Act request. So we're gonna return to that. Initially redacted. I don't know why. I don't know why they wanted to hide that initially. So I want to give you a little bit of context around what produced that photo. There was testing by DHS in late 2017 of 8 different prototypes, and all of them, including the steel slats that you just saw, were vulnerable to breaching, according to an internal February 2018 US Customs and Border Protection report. So they did these tests, and you might remember actually Donald Trump going to the border to view these. When I was in San Diego talking to a congressional candidate, he was doing a trip to San Diego. Well, we didn't hear too much about the testing because they failed. And it was redacted. Obviously, it would be far too embarrassing for that to get out. The idea that someone could, stop by a hardware store, get a saw, and then break into our country is a little bit depressing if you've spent $5 billion to stop them.
Well, maybe Trump will come up with some concrete solutions to this problem, right? This is so stupid. This whole thing is stupid. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell the audience. This is insane.
Yeah, well, hold on to your butts because it's about to get stupider. Donald Trump was actually asked about that leaked photo and about the test of the wall variants, and here was his response.
There are pictures this morning showing steel barrier wall being sawed straight through. What good is a steel wall if they can saw through it?
Well, that's a wall that was designed by previous administrations. There's nothing that can't be penetrated, but you fix it. But it's a very difficult thing to do. But that's a wall, and they have other walls. We have many walls under consideration. Even concrete, there's acid that can go through concrete. But what you do is you fix it, and it very much limits. It's very, very hard. The wall that we're doing is very, very hard to penetrate.
Okay, so
he just said, I'm quoting him verbatim, anything can be penetrated.
So anybody can be beat. You might remember that quote.
So this is, yes, I do remember that quote. So this is basically a giant nonsense debate over something that's not actually a crisis. And it's all about some sort of structure being funded that could be penetrated regardless of what it's made out of. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that cannot be penetrated, and it's Donald Trump's brain.
Ever give up. Don't give up. Don't allow it to happen. If there's a concrete wall in front of you, go through it, go over it, go around it, but get to the other side of that wall.
By the way, if you are gonna break through the border wall, if it's ever made, okay, like hacksaw, totally safe. You can pick one up for like 12 bucks or whatever. Don't carry gigantic vials of acid with you on your way to the wall. That is just, that's a disaster waiting to happen. The walls, obviously, they can be destroyed. And his argument that, those were walls designed by a previous administration. No, you okayed the prototypes and then went and talked about how awesome they were. And okay, yes, so technically those are the sorts of walls that have been used in other contexts by earlier administrations, but it was deployed in 2017. He visited it multiple times in 2017 and 2018. It only becomes Obama's dumb wall once you cut through it with a hacksaw. And I got news for you. You can design it in a different way. It's still steel.
But is it big, beautiful American steel?
Make it bigger. It's still steel. I have a feeling that you can probably still hacksaw through it. I don't know what about your amazing design that you're considering. What Mark II advantage is gonna make it impenetrable? What new design of a concrete wall won't be able to be breached by a big bucket of acid if it comes to that?
This whole debate is so stupid. Keep in mind that while government workers, 800,000 of them are not getting paid right now, members of Congress who have refused to do anything about comprehensive immigration reform are getting paid. Because in previous spending bills, they made sure to get their salaries covered. Their salaries are covered through this fiscal year.
Yeah.
Okay, they're getting paid while Americans are hurting right now over this nonsense.
And credit to AOC for saying that their salary should be suspended during that period.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Americans should not have to pay their federal taxes for this dysfunction. If we have a government shutdown and we're not getting the services that our tax money is supposed to be paying for, then why are we paying our taxes?
Well, I mean, if this shutdown continues, what's the difference?
I mean, I would like my tax money to go toward federal workers who are being forced to work right now for free.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, they're supposed to get paid later, but how is that gonna help them pay their bills right now?
On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.